Quick story before we dive in. I just bought my teenager, or helped buy my teenager, her first car today. And the dealership made me pay with a check. I asked for debit and all sorts of other things. And they said the preferred form, actually the required form of payment, is still a check in 2025, a paper check. Meanwhile, Bitcoin stablecoins and tokenized assets are settling trillions instantly across borders 24/7. That's how I know that I'm early to crypto and that we are still early as a whole. And that's why this Uptober isn't just hype on October 1st. It's history and it's momentum. Today, we're going to be covering why Uptober is Bitcoin and crypto as a whole's most bullish month. U.S. Treasury tax relief fueling corporate Bitcoin adoption. XRPFi exploding with Flare. New York City giving $12K in USDC stablecoins to residents. Citigroup's projection of $200 trillion in stablecoin settlements by 2030. Hedera massive adoption news, including Ledger, Hedera token service adoption. Börse Stuttgart and Kraken teasing additional adoption into the Hedera ecosystem, as well as a Hashport Faucet. And Ripple USD proving out compliance with Deloitte. This Uptober may be the biggest yet. What is up, everybody? Solomon here. Super excited to be with you all today. Well, I guess we're just going to hop right in. October has historically been Bitcoin's best month. Positive returns 73% of the time, with average gains around 29.23%. And we know if Bitcoin's bullish, altcoins are right behind or running in tandem. Some historic standouts: in October of 2013, plus 61%, and in October 2017, 48%. October kicks off Q4 when institutions rebalance, inject capital, and prepare for fiscal end. That institutional money combined with retail excitement, creating this Uptober effect that you're probably seeing across crypto over the past 24 hours. But remember, markets evolve. October is bullish, but risk management still reigns supreme. We also saw, huge news coming out of the U.S. Treasury. Unrealized crypto gains exempt from the corporate alternative minimum tax. Before this, companies like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy faced phantom taxes, or the potential for phantom taxes in the billions just for holding Bitcoin. Stocks and bonds were already exempt. Now crypto is too. Senator Cynthia Lummis called it common sense. But bottom line, this clears the runway for corporations to add Bitcoin to their treasuries without IRS landmines. Flare XRP adoption is ramping up. So XRPFi, and always make sure you guys are doing your own due diligence. This is not sponsored by Flare or anything that I'm mentioning this. I'm just mentioning it because it's happening. On the XRP side, demand is breaking out. Flare just minted another 2.5 million FXRP, minted them out in 90 minutes. We saw the first tranche a little less than a week ago get minted out within less than 4 hours. Asian and European zones drove it, and as Flare mentions here, the Americas are up next. XRPFi is showing real hunger, and adoption is heating up fast. Also, see a huge stablecoin pilot coming out of New York City. New York City is piloting USDC for public aid. 160 low-income young adults are getting $12,000 each in USDC, distributed through Coinbase and managed by an entity called Give Directly. No banks, no delays, just stablecoins for essentials like rent, food, and education. If this works, it could redefine public assistance globally, regardless of what you think about that. And then this is kind of the big news coming out here, is you have this gigantic stablecoin 2030 report. And this is a macro bombshell. Citigroup publishing their stablecoin 2030 report. The numbers are obviously big, as we would expect them to be. This is in alignment with a lot of the other reports. For those of you guys that missed when I found that Treasury report, Treasury Borrowing and Advisory Committee estimates, I think it's 2.7 trillion by 2030, and potentially even by 2028. What you have Citigroup essentially saying here, the current supply of around 280 billion in stablecoins is kind of sitting in September 2025. That's up from $200 billion at the start of this year. By 2030, Citigroup projects that $1.9 trillion in stablecoins will have been issued under the base case. So the base case scenario. And in a bull case, saying, positive momentum, about $4 trillion in stablecoins. To put that into context for you guys, $4 trillion is obviously close to $1 trillion higher than, or actually right where the crypto market is sitting right now, about $4 trillion. So I'll reframe that again for you all. Right now, we have about $280 billion in stablecoins. Citigroup is saying by 2030, we could have about $4 trillion in stablecoins. And if we have $4 trillion in stablecoins by 2030, $4 trillion is the entire crypto market cap right now. All of crypto combined, including stablecoins. What do you think crypto as a whole will be at if we see a $4 trillion stablecoin market cap in 2030? Crypto as a whole will sure be a lot higher than 4 trillion, or you would expect it to be. Again, not financial advice. But with velocity, stablecoins settling payments dozens of times over. That translates into $100 trillion in annual transactions by 2030, estimates Citigroup. $100 trillion in annual transactions by 2030, and that's the base case. And they're saying up to $200 trillion in annual transactions in the bull scenario. 200 trillion. That's more than double today's global GDP. And Citi's saying that this won't be a winner take all. Stablecoins will coexist with central bank digital currencies, tokenized deposits, and bank tokens. In fact, bank tokens may surpass stablecoins in corporate volume, but stablecoins will dominate crypto native flows from DeFi to cross-border money. Even more, stablecoins actually increase demand for United States treasuries because reserves often include short-term treasury bills. That ties digital money directly into global debt markets. So the message is clear. This Uptober, it's not just about short-term crypto charts. It's about a $200 trillion future for programmable money and stablecoins. I want to move into some of the notable Hedera stuff over the past 24 hours. This isn't sponsored content, but for due diligence sake and disclaimer, Genfinity does have a media relationship with Hedera and within the Hedera ecosystem. We do a lot of content in there, but this is my content that I've kind of accumulated over the past 24 hours that I feel like is interesting enough to share with you all, but make sure you're doing your own research. Hedera in the spotlight, Ledger Live now supporting Hedera token service tokens. So, those of you guys that look into cold storage and things like that with your Ledger devices, one of the things that we've been waiting on for a long time for those that have been in Hedera for years is HTS support or Hedera token service support. And that just launched. Tokens like Saucer Swap, the native or the biggest DEX, Hashpack, the biggest wallet, and their pack token, Kabila, Gib, Dovu, cold storage security meeting Hedera's efficient network. Also, this came out yesterday, and I think HBAR is on Kraken now, but this is kind of another alluding to what's coming down the pipeline. I don't have any sort of crazy information on this other than it would be pretty cool to see HTS and Hedera tokens supported on a tier 1 exchange. We know what that's done for ecosystems like Solana. You could actually even make the argument that, the XRPL doesn't really have a whole lot of tier 1 exchange support for XRPL tokens outside of XRP. So obviously pretty major, outside of Ethereum and Solana and maybe a couple of other examples. You really don't see it too much, and that's definitely what's needed for more adoption of these ecosystems, because just like Hedera and XRPO and some of these other layer ones, Algorand and some of these other networks, there's a lot of really good projects on these networks, but there is still in 2025 gatekeeping going on at the tier 1 level. Hopefully we're starting to break some of that down, and maybe this is what this is alluding to, but we will see. That is not confirmed. I really don't know. I just saw the tweet and decided to share it with you guys. And we also saw Börse Stuttgart, and I'm probably mispronouncing that, Europe's 6th largest exchange group. Shout out to Tata. Easily one of the best follows in the HBAR community. HBAR Tata just added HBAR to its BISON app, meaning that 1 million active users in 72 countries can now trade HBAR under MyCard compliant custody. And finally here, and I'll get off the HBAR ecosystem, we did an interview that was released this morning with Hashport Network. unveiling their HBAR faucet, giving new users a starter amount of HBAR to cover their first swaps and token associations. This is spread across 8 networks: Ethereum, Base, Linea, Arbitrum, Optimism, Scroll or Script. I forget what SCR is. Shape and ZK Snark. So that's one of the biggest pitfalls that we do see in crypto with onboarding. And it's like, oh, you want me to first download and create an account, aka a wallet, and now second, I can't do anything because I actually have to load it up. I know that that's the case in XRPL. It's very similar in Hedera, and I get it. It's, for those that aren't aware, that reserve balance is for a lot of different things, mainly, let's say, spam prevention. Okay. But still, it represents a little bit of red tape for user onboarding. It's the same thing with web design 101. How many clicks, can you build a website in to get the user to effectively be able to do whatever the user should be able to do? The less clicks, the better. The more clicks, you're going to lose potential people coming onto your website and doing what you want them to do. It's the same thing with removing some of these barriers for adoption. So if you want to check that interview out, you can check it out. And then finally, we have Ripple USD achieving a major milestone with their first Deloitte and Touche attestation report. Transparency hitting a milestone, and essentially a confirmation that $773.6 million in reserves. That's already tying itself to BlackRock, live on Bybit Spot, and expanding into African remittances in this report as well. Ripple USD is proving compliance for stablecoins are the future. We know that other stablecoin ecosystems have to meet this level of compliance as well. Say what you want about Ripple and XRP. Ripple has done a pretty good job at transparency reports over the past few years. I actually think that they've sunsetted the XRP market reports. I think the last one was like maybe a month or so ago, but they were very, very consistent, I think, on a quarterly basis. So anyways, as we ramp down here, and there's some other documents I probably should have shared, but I don't want to take this too much longer. Bitcoin's strongest month historically has been October, hence the term Uptober that you see everywhere. Flare is proving out XRPFi demand. I should also give a shout out to Midas and Axelar. That is also XRPFi, and those tranches are also selling out almost immediately. And again, that is not sponsored content either. I did an interview with them, which was also not sponsored. You guys can watch that through Genfinity, genfinity.io, and at Genfinity.io on X. Stablecoins funding public aid in New York City. Citigroup projecting $200 trillion in settlement volumes and a $3 trillion, is it 3 or 4? Whichever one, it's a big number. $3 trillion stablecoin market or $4 trillion stablecoin market in the bull case by 2030, which is pretty massive. Well over 10x where it's at right now. Hedera stacking adoption with Ledger HTS support, Kraken riddles, and Börse Stuttgart and Hashport introducing the faucet. Ripple USD providing transparency with Deloitte. And here I am still writing paper checks to buy a 20-year-old used vehicle for my teenager. That's why I've got to believe that we're still early in crypto. And that's why these rails and everything that we're seeing being built out right now matters. So this Uptober hopefully isn't just bullish, it's transformational. If you found this breakdown valuable, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. Please share this channel and ring in the bell because we are covering every headline this Uptober. And I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. Thanks. Bye.